actually left a mark for about 20 minutes. About 20 minutes later, it was finally finished.
Alright, what's going on, guys? My name's Chopper. Now, I want to make this video because there's just something that I've wanted to talk about for a little while now. Like, I've had this theory on my mind, but I just played it off and I didn't want to talk about it, and because I thought it was too easy for Treyarch. And that theory is that all of zombies is in Richtofen's head, and Richtofen is basically a mental patient. Now, let me go ahead and explain why, but first, what I want you guys to do is listen to these Dr. Monty quotes at the end of the Gorod Krovi Easter. Basically, Dr. Monty is talking to all the three characters except Richtofen. If you are Richtofen when you complete this, you will not be able to hear these quotes, so as long as you're anybody else, you can hear this, but I'll let you guys listen to it and then tell me what you think about it.
Nikolai, Dempsey, Fakio, I'm only talking to you. Richthofen, he can't hear me, so he's probably off doing his own thing right now anyway. No change there, I suppose. The good news is, you're nearly done. It'll soon be time to come to the house. But this plan, this big plan, a lot of it's been riding on Richthofen. Before he caught up with you guys, he spent years traveling, searching out just the right versions of you. The ones who held the key to closing off the other dimensions. I think you know by now exactly what that entails. Point is, he's kind of surplus to requirements these days. He's been in the house for ages, but don't tell him. Anyway, it all makes sense when you get here. You'll see. Honestly, it's going to be fine. Oh, shit. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Monty.
So in these quotes, we hear Dr. Monty telling the three characters, about what's been going on with the Richtofen, and he goes into detail about the kind of characteristics for these each characters, and he's saying that none of this is really, it's not what they think it is, and that Richtofen, the last quote that he talked about how Richtofen has been in the house for ages, but don't tell him. I found that line in particular very, very intriguing. I thought that was the most interesting line out of all of these quotes, as he said Richtofen has been in the house for ages, but don't tell him. We also know that in the zombie storyline, in Black Ops 3 in particular, the house and the children being safe has been a huge theme, but we've never actually really seen inside the house or what it is or what the children are going to be safe from. We just know that the children are supposed to be safe, and that's why Richthofen is enacting this plan to keep the children safe somehow. In some form or fashion, what he's doing is going to protect the children. And that's really all we know in the storyline thus far, but we know that Dr. Monty has recently been introduced to our characters. He's actually come out and talked to us quite a bit, actually, because I have a lot more videos coming up about Dr. Monty in detail soon, but we basically know that Dr. Monty is a godlike figure, and he can basically, he's omniscient, he knows everything that's going on with all these characters. He can kind of read their internal thoughts and all their internal processes that they're kind of thinking to themselves. He knows everything that's going on, and he's basically like this whole overview, and he can see everything from like a bird's eye perspective. And it makes complete perfect sense that Dr. Monty is this omniscient godlike figure that knows everything that's going on right now, and it matches perfectly up with my theory, which is that Richthofen is a mental health patient and Dr. Monty is actually a mental health doctor. Maybe that, something happened to Richthofen, he's been having mental delusions, and Dr. Monty is actually a mental therapist, and he's, helping Richthofen through this. Now, something that kind of backs this up, guys, go ahead and listen to this. So you guys know that ever since the beginning of the zombie storyline, basically, that Richthofen has kind of always been one step ahead of the other characters. He's always had a little bit more knowledge as to what they're doing, what's going on, especially, he's leading this group through all this, summoning key stuff, getting all the souls and all that sort of stuff. He's leading them through this, and he knows what to do. They're just kind of following him along and doing what he says. But have you guys ever noticed that when you daydream yourself in a scenario, you always put yourself as the hero? Like, Richthofen always sees himself as the hero or as the main character, and the other guys are kind of like his sidekicks, you know what I'm saying? That's how you always imagine. So that'd make perfect sense if this is all in Richthofen's head and he sees himself as the hero. What do you guys think about this theory? I think that Richthofen might be actually insane. This might be in his head, but I really don't know. I was really hesitant to jump to that gun because I didn't know if Treyarch would actually take the easy way out and just say, oh, this is all imagination, Richtofen's head, that's how everything's explained, the 2.0 universe doesn't really exist, it's all just made up in his head, it's all a daydream or whatever, or just his mental delusion. I feel like Treyarch is definitely more in depth than that, and they're smarter than that. They wouldn't just resort to making this all in Richtoven's head. But nonetheless, that Dr. Monty quote about, you know, Richtofen being in the house for ages but don't tell him is extremely interesting. And I think that line in particular needs to be delved in deeper, and we need to figure out exactly what that means. So hopefully we can find some more Dr. Monty wisps. We know where pretty much all of the new quotes are, and I am going to be making a full video about every single Dr. Monty quote in the near future once everything is kind of put together and I can actually make this video. But one thing I got to mention is that we know DLC 4's name is going to be Revelations. This is basically kind of maybe going full circle to Origins, as we see the writing is exactly in the same font and texture and everything like that. What if Revelations is, okay, basically the term of Revelations, or the meaning of it, is when you kind of realize something or everything comes full circle to a point, all your questions get answered and you realize things. Now, what if that means that we're going to be realizing what the zombie storyline has been, kind of everything wrapped up in one? Or does this mean Richtofen is going to realize that all of this thing that he's been imagining is just his own delusions, and Dr. Monty has been here the whole time, just as been maybe his mental therapist or something like that? So I don't know about that, but Revelations is going to be very, very interesting. A lot of our questions are going to be answered, probably every single one of them. The zombie storyline, guys, is going to be concluded for right now. Maybe, I don't know, guys. Treyarch still has more games to cover, but that's a different topic for another time. We know that Revelations is going to wrap up the storyline that we're currently working with right now in this 2.0 universe and all this sort of stuff. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this theory about Richtofen just being insane and Dr. Monty being his mental therapist. Like I said, I didn't want to jump to this conclusion because I know that Treyarch is smarter than that, and they wouldn't just resort to an easy way out conclusion like that. But that's going to be it for today, guys. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button. Let's go for 60 likes on this video. That'd be amazing. Thank you all for watching the video again. Make sure to do subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.